Game 2 of these Stanley Cup Finals is a classic in the making. A late tying goal by Perry sent the game to overtime, the second overtime game of this series. Chances after chances, inches away from ending. Still, it continued on. With the game headed into the second overtime, someone had to emerge as a hero to either even this series up or go up by 2. For the Panthers, they found that hero.
It's on his Marchand, pass ahead, Marchand, right there, it's in Marchand, can he tie the series, and he scores! Brad Marchand in overtime, and the Panthers win game 2, 5-4, the series is tied at a game apiece.
With the defending Stanley Cup champions evening the series up, they go back to Sunrise to try and tilt the series in their favor. The Oilers, one of the best road teams these playoffs, look to continue that momentum and try to take a game on the road. One of the tightest played Stanley Cup Finals in recent memory is heading to the Sunshine State for a Game 3. Next.
The Florida Panthers have won their first cup. Listen and look at the sound of a Stanley Cup champion. We welcome you to Emirates Bank Arena for game number 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Edmonton Oilers walking in, Connor McDavid losing in game 2. They had that perfect goal to make it 3-1. But then the Panthers came back and won in double overtime. Brad Marchand, the defending champs, are not going to go away that easily. And they've evened the series at 1. And they're back home at Emirates Bank Arena. We welcome you in, everybody. The Stanley Cup Final. Series tied at 1. I'm Max, delighted to have you with us here as we are about to have the anthems in just moments away as the Oilers lost game number 2, 5-4 in double overtime. And one of the problems in these finals for the Oilers is that they have not been able to score on their power play. They're 2 for 10 in the first 2 games. The Panthers are 2 for 6. If the Panthers want to keep that going, they need to be very good on their special teams. But with the Oilers, they are 9-1 in playoffs from Game 3 on in a series. The Panthers are 8-3, and winner of Game 3s hold all-time record of 23-7, gone on to win 66.3% of the time, 244 wins and 124 losses. A lineup change for the Panthers. Greer is in, and Boquist is out, as Greer had an injury for the first 2 games, as he is back in the lineup again for the Panthers. Bobrovsky has made 42 saves in consecutive games, and he became the first to have a back-to-back games with at least 40 saves to open the final. He can become the 4th goalie to have 3 straight 40-plus save games in playoffs. He'd be the first since Craig Anderson in 2010. But of course, the Panthers do not want to give up that much shots on goal. Be way too many on their side of things and way out of their comfort there. And they'd rather avoid that for sure. The Oilers have been very good on the road. They have won 6 of the last 7 on the road. Their only loss on the road was against Dallas in Game 1 in the Western Conference Final. And they lost the first 2 on the road to LA in their opening round series. Ever since then, they've outscored their opponents 25-16, averaging 31.3 shots on goal per game, and only allowing 23.6 shots on goal against during that span. And this Stanley Cup Final made history, as it was the 6th time in Stanley Cup Final history where the first 2 games of the series went to overtime. And we had our first double overtime game since 2020 when the Dallas Stars and the Tampa Bay Lightning were facing off in Game 5, and Dallas winning that game in double overtime. As we're about to get underway in game number 3 of the final, the Panthers back at home for the first time since Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. The Oilers and the Panthers have not played here in a playoff game since Game 7, as the crowd is loud inside Emirates Bank Arena, and we'll see who gets the early advantage here. The first 10 minutes is super crucial in this game for sure, as it can determine who wins this game and what it shifts to it could shift the momentum to one side of this series and could become lopsided. These 2 games at home for the Panthers are huge. Clearly, they want to split here, but they probably want more and try to take both the games here at home. The Oilers, as a road team, they have been very good. They're red hot on the road. The Panthers coming on to the ice right now, as the Oilers are coming on as well, as we're about to get underway here in game number 3. The intros here inside Emirates Bank Arena, Sunrise, Florida. Over 80 degrees over there in Sunrise. It's very hot. Hockey in June continues here in Florida for the 2nd straight year in a row. Last year was a rematch. Game 3 was in Edmonton because the Panthers had the first 2 games in Florida when they had home ice advantage. They won that Game 7 on home ice. But if this series goes to 7, it'd be the Oilers having home ice advantage. Series tied at 1. We'll have a guaranteed Game 5. It'll be on Saturday. And that'll be back in Edmonton. But the 2 games here in Florida will be today and on Thursday, Games 3 and 4. This can determine a lot in this series. Can the Panthers win both at home? They have not been as good as they are on the road as they are at home, as they've been a better road team than they are at home. As we are about to get underway in the anthems, the 2025 Stanley Cup Final, game number 3, as we'll send you to the public address announcer here.
Please welcome Grammy Award-winning global music mogul, DJ Khaled.
Florida Panthers, put your hands in the sky like this. Everybody stand up and raise your chairs. Make some noise for the Florida Panthers. This is Game 3. That's right, Game 3, Stanley Cup Finals. Right now, are you ready for what's about to happen? Make some noise. If you're here for the Florida Panthers, scream. If you're here for the Oilers, Florida Panthers, make some noise. That's right. We're about to introduce the Oilers. Let's go.
The head coach of the Oilers is Chris Napa. At forward, in his 20th season, number 90, Corey Perry. At forward, in his 14th season, number 93, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. On defense, in his 14th season, number 14, Matthias Ekholm. At forward, in his 10th season, number 97, Connor McDavid. On defense, in his 6th season, number 2, Evan Bouchard. And in goal, in his 5th season, number 74, Stuart Skinner.
All right, are you ready? Everybody stand up and salute the defending champions. Make some noise for the Florida Panthers. Another one. Let's go. We the best. And I mean that.
The head coach of your Panthers is Paul Murray. At forward, in his 12th season, number 16, Alexander Barca. On defense, in his 11th season, number 5, Aaron Ekblad. On defense, in his 8th season, number 42, Gustav Forsling. At forward, in his 6th season, number 23, Carter Verhaeghe. At forward, in his 11th season, number 13, Sam Reinhart. And in goal tonight, in his 15th season, number 72, Sergei Bobrovsky.
Ready! Game 3 starts right now. Another one. Woo!
Please turn your attention to the ice and welcome tonight's hero among us. 101-year-old World War II veteran, Technical Sergeant Sidney Edson, United States Army Air Corps. Thank you for your service and dedication to our country. Please rise and remove your caps for the performance of our national anthem, signed tonight by Florida resident and deaf performer with PXP, John Paul Javier. Here to perform O Canada and the Star Spangled Banner, please welcome John Acosta.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free? And the home of the brave.
We welcome you back inside Emirates Bank Arena. The Panthers and the Oilers.
And two-time U.S. Olympic gold medalist, Miami Heat captain,
Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat.
We welcome you to Game 3 as the Panthers and the Oilers. And it's very loud inside Emirates Bank Arena. This is the second straight year, or the third straight year, they've seen their team inside this arena for a Stanley Cup Final Series. The second year in a row they've seen the Oilers in a Final Series. They had not had home ice advantage since 2023 when they faced Vegas, lost in 5. First time they've had no home ice advantage for this series for the Panthers. Last time they didn't have home ice advantage, they lost. We're underway in Game 3. Bouchard will look to bank it in. Perry will send it in deep. Last time these two teams met inside this building for a playoff game was back at Game 7 when Florida won it 2-1. To the point again. Bouchard shot. Deflected. Save Bobrovsky. And we get a whistle. Just 16 seconds in to Game 3. It was a turnover by Ekblad along the boards as McDavid was on the forecheck. Perry had it behind the net and then lost. It was poke-checked, and then Nugent Hopkins with a smart play to move it back to the point where Bouchard threw it through traffic. Bobrovsky with a huge save there early on. That the shots are 1-0 in favor of the Oilers. McDavid gets kicked out of the face-off dot against Barkov, and Perry will take his place. Face-off won by Barkov, and Forsling will flip it out to center ice. Knocked down Ekholm. He'll get to the loose puck first. Verhaeghe was pressuring him from behind. Deflected off of Reinhardt's stick. Barkov lost it at center. Here's McDavid moving in. He'll pass it across for Perry. Shoots, and it deflected just wide and deflected out of play, actually. And McDavid was getting slowed up at the blue line and still entered the zone as the shots are 2-0. A huge play there. He outmuscled Ekblad. He fell down as there was a little bit of his contact with the stick. A blocker saved by Bobrovsky. And what a play by McDavid again. He has been very good in this Stanley Cup playoffs and in this final as well. Right off the blocker of Bobrovsky. We're just 35 seconds in. Already 2 quality chances for the Oilers here in Game 3. Lundell and Kane. Lundell wins the faceoff. And Mikkola will move it for Marchand along the boards. Got the double overtime winner in game number 2. 8 combined first period goals in this series, covered by Skinner as it rolled towards him. And we'll get a face-off in the Oilers zone. 47 seconds in. Already a bunch of whistles so far. Already 3 stoppages already. Not even a minute in. As we welcome you, if you're just joining us, Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. Florida versus Edmonton. Shots are 2-1 right now at the moment in favor of the Oilers. Last shot went to Florida, even though it just rolled towards Skinner. Wasn't really much of a shot. They counted it towards a shot on goal anyways. Another face-off win by the Panthers. Lundell tried to center it. It's loose in the crease. Lundell tried to center it again. Marchand scores! Brad Marchand! 1-0 Florida. 56 seconds in. "56 seconds into the first period. And Brad Marchand, who ended Game 2 in double overtime, continues a scoring touch here as he gets the first goal in Game 3. As it was a net mouth scramble, Skinner did not know where that puck was. It kept bouncing all around, hit off a body, came straight to Marchand on his blade. 56 seconds in, Brad Marchand makes it 1-0 Florida. That's the second time in this series they've scored the first goal. That is the quickest goal in this series to start a game. 56 seconds in. Shot back in. The other one was 66 seconds in when it was Draisaitl who opened the scoring in Game 1. This is the 8th goal this postseason for Brad Marchand. What a pickup by the Panthers to get him at the trade deadline from Boston. And he's had an impact here on this Panthers team here in this series so far as the Panthers are up 1-0 early on. Shots are even at 2. Brad Marchand. We're a minute and 3 in. We already have 1 goal already. It's been a high-scoring series. As it's moved up here by Kulikov. It got banked off the boards and deflected back into the middle. Back out to center ice. Dumped back in. Race for the puck here. Podkolzin beats the icing. Schmid went down as Kulikov will try to move it up along the boards, and now Bennett will move it in. He has 3 goals in this series. Bennett trying to get the pass from Rodriguez, and it was intercepted. A great defensive play by the Oilers. That was almost played via high stick, and Podkolzin will move it up into the middle for Janmark, who passes it across for Wallman, who lost the handle, who was pressured by Mikkola. Schmid has it behind the net. Shots are even at 2. Not even 2 minutes into Game 3. A 1-0 Panthers lead to start off the game, basically. 56 seconds in, it was Brad Marchand. Jones is offside at the line. A minute and 54 in. A bunch of whistles and already a goal. Brad Marchand the goal, and the Oilers down by 1 again. The second straight game that they've been down a goal in the first period to start off the game. The Panthers getting the first goal here. It's been humongous who's getting the first goal in this series. Edmonton got the first goal in the Game 1. They won in overtime. Panthers got the first goal in the Game 2, and they won in double overtime. So First goals have been huge in this series, but there's been a bunch of goals here. Gadjevich along the wall. Greer is back in the lineup. He was out for the first 2 games of the final. Greer has it behind the net on the backhand and go back to the point for Mikkola. Back for Greer, deflected it behind the net for Gadjevich. Pressured along the wall by Klingberg. Greer will go back to the point for Jones. He'll shoot one through traffic, deflected over the net. Gadjevich trying to center it, and it goes off the side of the cage, and out to center it comes. Banked off the boards at center. Gadjevich will dump it back in as Florida will go for a change 2.5 minutes in. Klingberg now. Crowd rallying here inside Emirates Bank Arena. Here's McDavid. Dumped it to the corner for Nugent Hopkins, who's back in the lineup. There's a worry that he had an undisclosed injury. And he's still he took warm-ups and he is playing here tonight. Verhaeghe as Forsling's cutting. Verhaeghe to Forsling. Oh, what a save by Skinner. What a save by Stuart Skinner. Could have been a 2-0 lead there. Bobrovsky plays it. Shot from the line, deflected behind the net. Nugent Hopkins, Perry trying to settle it down. Bouchard will send it across for Ekholm. Back for Bouchard again at the point. Now dancing the blue line, he'll shoot one. It's stopped through traffic by Bobrovsky. A lot of action early on here in Game 3. 1-0 Florida. Brad Marchand the goal, as Lundell and Lusterinen had the assists. As that puck was just bouncing around and Marchand got it to settle and shot that one to the back of the net. Verhaeghe found a cutting Forsling and just a pad save there by Skinner. Huge save there in the grand scheme of things in this game. As the faceoff is in the Florida zone, they've won it. Mikkola will move it up for Brad Marchand, who has the only goal. He had the past 2 Florida goals, as they say, was a hand pass instead. And we'll have to reset. Shots are even at 3 here, unless they called a trip. Oh, they did. It's a penalty upcoming to the Panthers, and the Oilers will go to the power play. So a little bit of a stumble by Draisaitl. He gets the call. And so the Oilers have a chance to respond here on the power play. Lundell in the box for tripping. And the Oilers will get their first man advantage. Face-off is struggled to find the puck, and it's not cleared out yet. Deflected out of the bench, I believe. Power play goals in 7 consecutive games for the Oilers. An argument here by Bouchard and Draisaitl that the face-off's coming out of the zone, and they're saying potentially that was a delayed game, I think. They're conferencing about this, but if it stays, it'll just be a 5-on-4. But if they do make a call, then it would have been a 5-on-3, but I think it was the face-off where the face-off was going to come. They say it's back in the Panthers zone. And so we start where the power play started just 5 seconds ago. In the Panthers zone in the face-off dot, Barkov and Draisaitl in the face-off dot. Draisaitl wins the face-off. Nugent Hopkins back for Bouchard at the point. Now dancing the blue line. Sends it to the circle. Out in front, McDavid. His pass is blocked. Bouchard. McDavid lets it go into the corner. Draisaitl to the point again for Bouchard. Now McDavid looking. Sends it low. McDavid couldn't receive the pass back as it's deflected out of the center ice and back into the Oilers zone. Bouchard now at the puck. Looks to move it up. He'll drop it off for McDavid with some speed. When he gets going, he is super fast. McDavid on the outside. Lost the handle. Draisaitl will pick it up now. In the corner. To the point again for Bouchard as the Panthers are looking to clear it. Bouchard creating some room, and Draisaitl now will send it low into the corner. McDavid looking. Shot. Save made. Rebound. Nugent Hopkins goes back to the point for Bouchard. Shot. Save. Rebound. Draisaitl couldn't get it. Swatted away. McDavid will go back to the point for Bouchard. 55 to go on the power play. Nugent Hopkins looking. Made a move behind the net. Center right for McDavid. He shoots. Save. Rebound. Oh, he missed it. Nugent Hopkins missed the net on the rebound. Bouchard. Florida can't clear it. To the point, Nugent Hopkins will send it across for McDavid. Back for Nugent Hopkins. Back pass for Bouchard. He shoots. It deflected out of play. What a sequence. 30 seconds to go on the power play for the Oilers. They had every single chance and couldn't put it into the back of the net. A weird save there by Bobrovsky. It deflected off a Panthers player off the glove, and then Draisaitl couldn't get it as Mikkola saved a goal. McDavid right here. Then the rebound by Nugent Hopkins. He couldn't bury it. He missed the net. Frustration by McDavid on the bench. The shots are now 8-3 in favor of the Oilers on this power play. They've had 4 shots on this power play here. Barkov and Henrique in the face-off dot now. On the glove side of Bobrovsky. Face-off won by Henrique. Klingberg. Kane will go back to the point. From distance, Arvidsson rimmed it all the way around. Here's Klingberg. He shoots! Deflected save! Henrique got the tip out in front, and it's stopped by Bobrovsky. Klingberg will go across. Back for Klingberg again. He'll go back across for Wallman. And a penalty upcoming on Edmonton on the sequence. And Kane argues, but he takes the penalty. And so the power play for the Oilers expires earlier than expected. A cross-check there on Forsling by Kane. Henrique with this great chance as Klingberg set it up from the point. Here's Nugent Hopkins missing a wide-open net on the rebound. It was open, and it just, wow, missed wide. On the glove side, 9 seconds to go on that Oilers power play, now turned into 4-on-4. And in 1:51 of Florida Panthers power play time, Bobrovsky at home on the Stanley Cup final last year was 3-1, a .939 save percentage, a shutout, and a 1.51 goals against allowed. Or average. Cross-checking on Kane. And so 9 seconds of 4-on-4 as the faceoff is in the Oilers zone. Henrique and Bennett. Henrique wins the faceoff, and Ekholm will clear it out to center ice. Schmid pressured. Here's Bennett. Power play now on for the Panthers. Here's Bennett. He shoots. Glove saved by Skinner. Minute and 48 to go, and now the Panthers will be able to try to set up here off the faceoff if they can win it. Schmid, a great play there into the middle for Bennett. He was pressured along the boards by 2 Oilers and somehow still was able to pass it into the middle. Shots are 8-4 in favor of Edmonton. They're 0-for-1 on the power play. Panthers, her first opportunity on the power play here. Nate Schmid with 4 assists. He leads the team in this series. The defenseman helping out on the goals. That's cleared by Ekholm off the draw, and Bobrovsky will play it for Schmid. They're 1-for-28 in this postseason. The Panthers on the power play. They look to change it here in the final. They need to. Marchand pressured, and it's cleared. He was trying to slow it down, and it just got read there perfectly by the Oilers penalty kill. Skinner had some trouble, and there's another whistle here. I think that might have been offside. And so we get another whistle, and that's why we have a stoppage in play. This first period had a lot of speed bumps here, as a lot of whistles have occurred in this opening 6 minutes. Barkov gets kicked out of the faceoff, and Reinhart will take his place against McDavid. McDavid won the faceoff, but Ekblad will move it up. He intercepted that faceoff win by McDavid. Barkov will send it across, and Jones will have it at the point. Looking to set up here on the power play. Ekblad will get it in the corner. Slow pass for Barkov. No one was at the point, and so it comes back out to center ice. A minute left to go on the Florida power play here. Shots are 8-4 in favor of the Oilers here in Game 3 early on. Back onside, Tkachuk. Tkachuk, pass! Oh, Reinhart missed it! Ekblad, he'll shoot it through traffic. It was blocked. Tkachuk, now Barkov along the boards, lost it to Ekholm. Tkachuk turned it over. Here's Reinhart, now for Jones. Waiting for an option. He'll bank it back to the point for Ekblad. Jones down deep. Ekblad along the boards, back for Jones again. Here's Reinhart. pass in the middle. Save by Skinner. And they were setting it up perfectly there. I don't know how Reinhart missed that deflection for Tkachuk, who was feeding him wide open for that empty net back door. Oh my, he missed an open net. Wow. Reinhart with an open net and deflected it wide of the net. Wow. A perfect pass by Tkachuk. And Reinhart somehow couldn't finish it. Wow. Face-off one here, and a cover immediately off the draw by Skinner. And we'll reset as 2 seconds just passed off the clock, I believe. 21 seconds to go on the Florida power play. And so we'll see what the Panthers can do off this face-off if they win it. Instead, the Oilers win it, and Wallman looks to clear it, could not, held in at the line. From distance, Ekblad's shot was stopped by Skinner, and it's cleared out of the zone by the Oilers. Down the length of the ice. Bobrovsky plays it. Jones now with the puck. Will look to move it up. Power play expiring in the last seconds here. Verhaeghe dumped it in, and the power play expires. They're 1 for 29 in the postseason. Turnover here. Bennett will get it in the corner behind the net. Pressured along the wall. Verhaeghe. Marchand trying to get the puck, and instead it's a 3-on-2 for the Oilers. McDavid looking to move it up here, but lost it to Mikkola. And so the Panthers looking to counter. That pass is way out of the reach there, and icing on Florida with 12:27 to go. In the first period, 9-5, the shots favoring the Oilers. We're about to be 8 minutes into this opening frame of the game number 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. And a 1-0 lead for the Panthers with Brad Marchand's goal. 12:27 to go in this first period. And it's Bennett and Draisaitl on the face-off dot. Comes free into the corner for Forsling. He'll look to move the puck up, and he'll clear it down to center ice. Nurse. Now McDavid. Now Klingberg. Will dump it back in off the glove of Forsling and goes into the corner. It'll be a hand pass, and Marchand touched it. I guess not. It did not count that as a hand pass. Marchand, pressure from behind by Kane, and they call a penalty on Kane. And Kane argues once again. The Panthers will go back to the power play just moments after their first one expired. He's complaining still. Brad Marchand draws the call. He got a high stick. 1-0 Panthers here in game 3. Welcome you back to Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. And the Panthers are going to go to the power play in just about a couple of seconds here, as this is going to be their second opportunity on the power play here tonight. And let's see if they can convert here to make it a 2-0 lead. Brad Marchand with the first goal, 56 seconds in. Let's see if they can convert here. Reinhardt's out there with Tkachuk and Jones and Barkov and Ekblad, this power play unit. First power play unit on their second power play of the night. They're 1 for 29 at home in the playoffs. They need to change that here. Tkachuk tried to go back to the point. It was intercepted by Nugent Hopkins. He'll clear it down the length of the ice. Bobrovsky out to play it, and Jones will look to move it up. Seth Jones with the puck. He'll drop it off for Barkov. Now Tkachuk along the boards. Goes back for Barkov. Trying to go across, and Reinhardt will pick it up behind the net. Tkachuk deflected it back to the point for Ekblad. Nice move at the blue line by Ekblad, and Jones will send it behind the net for Tkachuk. Barkov bounced over his stick, and Janmark trying to intercept, and instead Barkov gets it back. Jones, pass for Reinhardt back on side. Kulak forced him off the puck. Reinhardt gets it back though. Sends it across for Tkachuk along the boards. Back to the point, shot! Wide of the net. Barkov in the corner now with the puck. Pressured by two Oilers. And it'll go back to the point again. Just the passing's not been great. Tkachuk gets cross-checked from behind. Held at the line there by Jones. Ekblad now at the puck. 50 seconds to go on the power play here. Reinhardt will go for Tkachuk. He'll shoot! And it's stopped. Ekblad now. 40 seconds to go. To the line. Reinhardt held it in. Ekblad along the boards. Pressured by two Oilers and Brown. Trying to clear it. And it is cleared by the Edmonton Oilers. Less than 30 seconds to go on the power play. Shots are 9-7 in favor of the Oilers. Panthers are about to have their second power play expire if they don't score in the next 15 seconds. Rodriguez moves it in. Marchand is offside and a turnover here and a shorthanded chance here with McDavid and Kapanen. McDavid lost it on a poke check. And the other way come the Panthers. Bennett has the puck back on side. Power play expiring. Great pass there. Shot over the net. Broke the stick of Marchand in the process. And as the center ice it goes. Halfway through the first. Bennett. Then that pass was intercepted. Kane out of the box. Passes it for Podkolzin along the boards. He is offside, I believe. A whistle there by the referees. Believe caused the play offside. And then they're calling another penalty here. Oh, wow. Florida's going to go back to the power play because they said there was too many men. The third time for the Panthers on the power play. Too many men call on the Oilers. Welcome you back. 9:51 to go in the first. Panthers are going back to the power play for the third straight time tonight. And let's see if they can finally convert. They have been terrible. They're 1 for 30 in the postseason. They're trying to change it here tonight. This is their 31st opportunity here in the postseason at home. And let's see if they can change it at all. Because they need an insurance marker for sure if they want to take a 2-0 lead going into the locker room. They've had so many opportunities, and this could cost them if they don't take advantage of these. 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. They have 4 shots. And let's see if the third time's a charm for the Panthers. Oilers just trying to kill off all these penalties. They've been taking a lot of undisciplinary penalties. Barkov will get in the corner. Along the boards is fought for. There is no discipline by the Oilers so far in this game. Kane taking 2 penalties, a too many men call. Easily could have been avoided. It's cleared out of the zone by the Oilers once again, as the Panthers have just not looked good on the power play. No energy. Kachuk along the boards will go back to the point for Jones. Sends it deep into the corner. Kachuk lost it to Kulak. Backhanded around for Kapanen, and he'll clear it down the length of the ice once again. None of the passing has been good for the Panthers here on this power play. And there's a whistle, and I believe it's another penalty. And so we play 4-on-4. It has been a penalty palooza. Nurse goes flying with that trip. It was a trip, though. Just the way he fell. It's kind of funny. Minute and 7 of 4-on-4, and then 53 seconds of Oilers power play time. Ekblad talking to himself and just like, that's really a penalty now? We're calling that? The Oilers will take it, though. They were taking a lot of penalties. Paul Maurice talking to his bench. Won the cup last year with the Panthers. Looking to do the same here to the Oilers, to make them lose again. Trying to go back-to-back for the first time in franchise history for the Panthers. Bennett trying to win the faceoff. Instead, Henrique won it. Wallman will rim it all the way around behind the net. Let go there, and Verhaeghe will pick it up. Pressured by Klingberg. Verhaeghe still pressured off the puck. He fell down. Fans wanted a penalty. They won't get it. Bennett will pass it across. Here's Kulikov. 4-on-4 action here. Kulikov, bank pass for Bennett into the corner. Klingberg gets ridden off. Centering pass there by Bennett, couldn't go. Schmid held it in at the line. He'll dump it deep into the corner, and Klingberg will pick it up. Half a minute left to go on this 4-on-4. A turnover here. Sent to the front, and couldn't get the puck was Lundell. Lundell almost lost it. Goes back up high. Forsling's shot was blocked by McDavid. And is forced out to center ice. Mikkola with the puck now. 4-on-4 about to expire in 10 seconds. And it'll be an Oilers power play. Lundell looking on the backhand. Got forced off the puck by Draisaitl. Oilers power play started. 53 seconds of it. McDavid will move it in on side. Waiting. Dropped it out for Bouchard. He shoots. Save. Bobrovsky off the glove. And it's cleared down the length of the ice. What a save there by Bobrovsky. He's been perfect so far in this period. He's been big when the Panthers needed him. McDavid with some speed entering the zone. Dropped it off for Draisaitl at the point. Centering pass for Perry. Will go back to the point. Along the boards. McDavid trying to get in, and it's cleared out of the zone. Stuart Skinner out to play it in his crease. Handling the puck, and he'll play it for Klingberg. Moves it up for Draisaitl on the pass. McDavid waits. Pressured off the puck. Klingberg lost it. Jones will backhand it and clear it. And the Oilers power play expires. Power plays in this opening period have not been converted on. A huge hit along the boards there in front of the Edmonton bench by one of the Panthers. As Lundell forcing Nurse on the puck there. Nurse will rim it all the way around. Held in by the Panthers. Mikkola. Behind the net now, Lundell still has the puck, pressured by Klingberg. Lundell centering it, and it was blocked away as Greer fell down. We had 10 minutes worth of penalty minutes combined in this opening period. Greer will shoot it back in from center. 6:10 to go in the first. Bennett steals it away along the board. Centering pass. Gadjevich couldn't get it as it deflected off the stick of Skinner.
And it's shot back in by Edmonton. 10-9, the shots favoring the Oilers. Here in the first period, less than 6 to go. Here is Kulikov who will shoot it back in. Tkachuk to the loose puck. On the backhand, lost it to Wallman. Tkachuk, a huge hit. Centered! Oh, and it's blocked out in front. Rodriguez with the centering pass, or Tkachuk, pardon me, with the centering pass, and Rodriguez could not finish it. It was blocked. The other way could be a break for Kane. He shoots, and he missed the net. And deflected out of play with 5:32 to go. A golden opportunity for Edmonton, and Vander Kane has been frustrated a lot here in this first period. 1-0, Florida. We'll be back. We welcome you back to the MHS's coverage of the Stanley Cup Final. Bennett and Schmidt almost combined for an opportunity there. Draisaitl got hit from behind, and no call there. 5:32 to go. Brown off the side of the net. Tkachuk will pick it up now for Florida. Shots are 10-8. Draisaitl wanted a penalty. Will it be called? I'm not sure. He seemed like he got high stick there, and I believe they are going to call this penalty. Bennett's going to the box, and the Oilers will go to the power play once again. This has been the most penalty-filled opening period of a Stanley Cup Final I've ever seen. Yep, that is a clear penalty there. It was Brown, actually, that got high stick, not Draisaitl, pardon me. And so another power play in this opening period. I feel like there's been a lot of power plays here in this opening period of the Stanley Cup Finals, game number 3. Cleared down the length of the ice immediately, though. Wow. Bennett for high sticking, and Bouchard will drop it off for Draisaitl. There's Draisaitl. Dropped it off for McDavid, who is moving in with some speed, trying to cut through the defense, and could not. McDavid will rim it all the way around for Draisaitl along the boards near the circle. Pressured. Bouchard at the point. Sends it across for Nugent Hopkins. Sends it deep into the corner for McDavid. McDavid. Nugent Hopkins. Bouchard at the point. Someone lost their stick. McDavid shoots. Save. Rebound. Loose in the crease. Battling for the puck, and they couldn't put it in. Draisaitl now with the puck. Looking. High slot. Dropped it off for Bouchard. McDavid had lost his stick, so that's why he went to the bench and came back. Draisaitl sends it low. Perry lost the handle. 1 minute to go on the power play. 4:20 to go in the first. Bouchard, high slot to McDavid. Waiting, delaying. McDavid passes it back for Bouchard. Shoots, and it's blocked into the corner. McDavid pressured off the puck by Barkov. Barkov looking to clear. It's held in at the line as Perry has the puck behind the net. Draisaitl now. We'll go to the point for Bouchard. 4 minutes to go in the first period. Here's McDavid. Trying to center it. It's in the crease. Perry can't bank it in. Florida needs a clear. And now, Bouchard for Draisaitl. Back for Bouchard. It's blocked to the corner. Draisaitl, less than 20 seconds to go. Bouchard sends it across for McDavid in the circle. Pass broken up. It was going for Draisaitl. It's held at the point, though, as the Panthers still cannot clear it. McDavid tried to center it, and it's cleared out of the zone finally. And the power play expires. They get through another one. Only one shot on goal for the Oilers recorded on that power play. The crowd salutes here at Emirates Bank Arena for that effort to kill off that penalty. An icing here on the Oilers with 3:10 to go. Wow. What a sequence. Just moving the puck well, but they could not put it in the back of the net. And Florida did a very good job on that penalty kill to try to limit that net mount scramble. Was able to fish it out a couple of times from the front of the net. And McDavid a little bit frustrated on the bench. 11-8, the shots favoring the Oilers. Bennett in the face-off dot looking to win it. He does, as Tkachuk now will get it. Matthew Tkachuk looking. Shot off the side of the net, and it's stopped by Skinner and is cleared out to center ice. Back into the Florida zone, Jones pressured by Kane. Jones gets hit by Kane, and a huge reversal right back. Centering pass comes out to center ice. And now a fight behind the play, I believe. There is no penalty yet. Everyone was getting together. Kane and Matthew Tkachuk get together now at center ice. Everyone's getting together in front of the Oilers bench. Everyone tangled up with each other as everyone was standing in the crowd. What a chaotic first period. We only have one goal, but a lot of extracurricular activities in this game. Wow. A very good Stanley Cup final, and it lives to that. Oh, Arvidsson actually pushed Bobrovsky. Oh, wow. That's a penalty on the Oilers for sure. And a goalie interference. That was so unnecessary of Arvidsson. Victor Arvidsson just ran over Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky might have sold that a little bit. Maybe a little bit, but, I mean, that's still goalie interference. You're not allowed to do that. And then everyone got together. Goalie interference on Victor Arvidsson in the fourth power play for the Panthers in just the first period. Heading into this game, they were 2 for 6. Now it's 2 for 9. It is insane how much power play they've had in the opening period. Everyone's standing here at Emirates Bank Arena in the lower bowl. Marchand out there has the only goal in this period. Schmid shoots, and it goes wide of the net off the draw. Rodriguez gets it back. Schmid. Now for Verhaeghe. Rodriguez has the puck now off his skate. Evan Rodriguez looking. Trying to center it. Blocked off Henrique's skate. Bennett pressured along the wall. Verhaeghe shot was blocked. Here's Schmid up high. Shot was blocked by Bennett. He'll go back to the point for Schmid. Now Rodriguez in the slot. Verhaeghe. He shoots. Scores! Carter Verhaeghe on the power play. It's 2-0 Florida. .2:15 to go in the first. A power play goal. A perfect setup by Rodriguez. And right off the short side, ringing the crossbar, bar down. Carter Verhaeghe. It's 2-0 Florida in Game 3. A power play goal on their 10th shot of the period. The defending champs, Marchand, thinks smarter, he said to the bench. Wow. To the Edmonton bench, he said, think smarter. Wow. That was a dumb penalty, though, by Arvidsson. Another shot, save made by Bobrovsky. Wallman, 12 shots for the Oilers here in this opening period. Less than 2 minutes to go. 2-0 Panthers here in the opening 18 minutes.
of game number 3. Draisaitl pressured. Perry is offside of the line. 1:45 to go, and Forsling and Perry are giving each other a stare down at the blue line. Well, this has been a very entertaining first period, a long one as well. We'll have our intermission report coming up next after we have a 1:45 remaining in the first period. We'll see how long that'll last, because 8 minutes was already a long time to pass here in the opening period. 2-0 Florida with the goal by Carter Verhaeghe. Marchand and Carter Verhaeghe with the goals for the Panthers. Schmid moves it up as Greer is pressured. Here is Gadjvik, who'll shoot it back in. 2 for 32 now at home. Not good for the Panthers on this postseason in their power play, but they get a huge one here in Game 3 to make it a 2-0 lead. Their first 2-goal lead in a first period. It is cleared out to center ice, and Gadjvik looking to pick up the puck lost to the Nurse, and Kapanen will pick it up now. Or pardon me, Janmark. Nurse shoots wide of the net as Podkolzin will install it deep. Schmid lost it. Rodriguez and Schmid with the assist on the Carter Verhaeghe goal. The side of the net is Podkolzin. Less than a minute to go. Nurse. Podkolzin forced it into the corner. Schmid. And now Greer has the puck. He'll drop it off for Schmid. How much power plays did that take for someone to finally convert on one of theirs? It took a long time. Held at the line for a moment. No, it's not. Offside of the line with 41.8 remaining. As Kane was trying to hold it in. Here at Emirates Bank Arena, the Stanley Cup Final, game number 3. Florida, the home team, have a 2-0 lead over the Edmonton Oilers, the rematch from last year. It's the hit by Brown or Draisaitl on one of the Panthers there. Less than 40 seconds to go. Here's Henrique with the puck. He'll go back to the point. Shot was blocked, and it broke his stick, actually. And Luostarinen forces it out to center ice. Bouchard now with the puck. Brown passes it into the middle for Ekholm, who'll shoot it back in on the far side. Less than 20 to go. Mikkola lost it. Then Jones. Marchand trying to move it up. Up in the air. It's fought for along the boards. Luostarinen will move it up with less than 10 seconds to go. Maybe one last-minute rush. Shot back in by Luostarinen. The Panthers have a 2-0 lead after 20. Shot save made at the buzzer. And a little bit of a scuffle right afterwards, and Lundell and Ekholm get together. Everyone's getting together at the whistle. Kane and Tkachuk. Tkachuk throws a fist right in the face of Kane. Oh, my goodness. Everyone getting together at the whistle. Lundell's lost his helmet. Tkachuk and Kane getting separated here. Brown and Mikkola all tied up along the boards. Brown is trying to throw punches from behind. Mikkola's laughing him off. The Panthers have a 2-0 lead. Oh, my goodness. And another hit there in the face. As everyone was just going together. Bouchard got hit up high after the whistle. That's why everyone was going together. We'll see if we get any penalties after this. I'm not sure if we're going to get any additional calls here. They are going to try to call penalties. Oh, wow. Frederick is getting separated from the Panthers. He was about to go with the whole entire Panthers there near the benches. Gadjvik arguing. Everyone's just heated. 20 minutes of play, and it's already heated here in game number 3. It's already hot in Sunrise. It's gotten hotter here. We'll be back with our intermission report coming up next here on the NHL and MHS's coverage of the Stanley Cup Final. welcome you back to the intermission report. I thought we had plenty of more time to work with, but instead, we have like less than 3 minutes. So out of all that at the end, where it was all a scuffle or whatever, it's going to be an Oilers power play for the fourth time in the game. We have had 8 penalties in this game. About to be 8 penalties. 7 penalties in the first period, and they did call that one at the end of the first, so that could be 8. 8 first period penalties. The only one that was converted on the power play was for Florida. They're 1 for 4. 2 for 32 in this postseason at home. 12-10, the shots were favoring the Oilers. Brad Marchand, 56 seconds in, assisted by Lundell and Luostarinen, made it 1-0 on a wrist shot. That was just a net mouse scramble. Everyone was fighting for the puck, came free for Marchand, settled it down, and put it in, and got the Panthers on the board first. Verhaeghe on the power play, 7th of this postseason, assisted by Rodriguez and Schmid. A perfect shot on the short side, beating Skinner. It's 2-0 Florida here in Game 3. The Oilers will have a power play, though, entering this second period. So we'll see if they can respond here on this power play. They're 0 for 3. They are 2 for 13 in this series, the Oilers on the power play. The second period about to start soon as the Panthers are up 2-0. The defending Stanley Cup champions trying to get one step closer to winning that Stanley Cup once again. We'll be back with the second period next. welcome you back to the Stanley Cup Final. A 2-0 lead for the Florida Panthers here in Game 3. The Oilers going to the power play, though, due to the late scuffle at the end of the first period. As the Edmonton Oilers, for the 4th time in the game, will go to the power play. They'll have the full 2 minutes to work with here in the second period. As we welcome you back. Marchand and Verhaeghe, the goal scorers here for tonight for the Panthers. They're up 2-0, and again, it is Lundell in the box. And we'll see if this is going to be costly or not. Panthers have converted on their 4th power play opportunity. Let's see if the Oilers can as well. And we are about to be back here. We're underway again. Second period action here in Florida. Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. And here's McDavid moving it in onside. Wallman dumped it into the corner. Nosek now. Try to clear it. Could not. Wallman. Pass back to the point for Bouchard. Wallman again at the blue line. Pass for Bouchard. Back for Wallman again. Up high. Waiting. Wallman. Bouchard. Save. Bobrovsky, and it's cleared. A huge save there by Bobrovsky. Wallman now with the puck. He'll drop it off for Connor McDavid in the middle. Entering in onside, got through 2 Panthers. He'll set it up. Draisaitl. Bouchard. Up high, Wallman. Lost the handle. Florida looking to clear. They will. Skinner looking to play it. And Bouchard will get it. Marchand was on the forecheck. Less than a minute to go on the power play. The 4th opportunity for the Oilers. Here's Nugent Hopkins. Marchand fell down at center ice. Perry trying to go cross ice, that deflected off a skate. Bouchard held it at the line. Draisaitl, the Ekholm, slaps it to Nugent Hopkins. Back for Ekholm again. Up high with 30 seconds to go on the power play. Draisaitl along the boards. Back for Ekholm again. Fakes it. Bouchard looking. Bouchard shoots. Deflected. Score! Perry on the rebound. Corey Perry makes it a 2-1 game on the power play. And the Oilers are on the board. Just a minute and 40 into the second period. A power play goal for the Oilers. A perfect setup there. Bouchard, and then the rebound perfectly right to Perry, as Jones had to cover 2 guys basically there. He was shifting away from Corey Perry. That made him open. He lost his man, and Bobrovsky couldn't really do anything there. It was a perfect rebound. He almost got a piece of it too. He almost stopped it. Corey Perry makes it a 2-1 game. The 40-year-old veteran. Almost a turnover there. Oilers are going to tie it up now as they've got on the board. Bennett will rim it all the way around. Rodriguez will get it along the far boards. Fell down. Behind the net, it's Tkachuk. Rimmed it around again. Rodriguez will go back to the point. Kulikov sent it across. Shot from distance was wide of the net. Tkachuk lost it. Rodriguez still goes for a hit. Kulikov. Now Bennett with the puck. Goes up high. Shot by Schmidt. Deflected. Wide of the net. Tkachuk tried to poke it to Bennett. Along the board, centering pass, comes up high, Schmidt shot, save made, and Skinner fell down in the process. Nurse the other way, onside, dumped it in, bouncing puck, wide of Bobrovsky. Frederick now with the puck, and moved up here by Florida. They'll clear it out to center ice. Where's the puck? It went out of play, I think. More than 2.5 minutes in to the second period. Corey Perry has made it a 2-1 game, and Janmark going at it with Gadjevich. Threw a little bit of a cross-check there. Tkachuk kind of knocked down Skinner. They did not call that as goalie interference, but they called the other one as goalie interference. Edmonton fans probably not too pleased. Skinner is not pleased at all with the no call. Oilers on the bench agree with him. They called the other goalie interference. Why couldn't they call it the same?
is probably what they're thinking, the Oilers. 14-11, the shots favoring. The Oilers. They have gotten the majority of the shots here in this second period due to their power play they got. 8 power plays in this game. Only 2 of them have been converted on. 1 on each side. The difference right now, that Verhaeghe goal on the power play. Wallman lost it. Barkov looking to move it in on side. McDavid angling him off. Corey Perry with his 9th postseason goal of this postseason. Bouchard and Ekholm with the assists. Shot by Reinhart. He scores! A quick response for the Panthers. Sam Reinhart makes it 3-1. A turnover by Klingberg along the wall as Barkov knocked him down. Verhaeghe with a short pass to Reinhart beats Stuart Skinner on the blocker side, and the Panthers regain their 2-goal lead. So just 3 minutes in, we have 2 goals. One at 1:40 and one at 3 minutes. And a turnover here, shot, blocked out in front of the net. Florida was looking to make it 4-1. Podkolzin will move it up. Now Draisaitl on the far side. Will drop it off to the point. Ekholm's shot, blasted wide of the net. The other way come the Panthers. Pass off the boards. Marchand trying to get it, and Skinner poke checked it away. Ekholm angling off Marchand. Bouchard now. Oilers got some life, and then now Reinhart got him on the board. Draisaitl onside, pressured by Jones. Leon Draisaitl will go back to the point. No one held it in, as Kulak will just shoot it back in from the blue line. They'll have to touch up. Kulikov now, or more, almost 4 minutes into the second period. Reinhart with the goal. 2 goals in 1:20. Here's Wallman looking to stretch it up here. Deflected, so no icing, up in the air. Knocked down Nugent Hopkins. Fell down. Here's Perry again. Behind the net. Looking to center it. He did it to McDavid for a moment. And Tkachuk will pick up the puck. Short pass for Ekblad. 3-1 Florida. Reinhart with the goal, his 5th of this postseason. Verhaeghe with the assist. And it is cleared out to center ice. Shot back in by Forsling. So an immediate response by the Panthers. Just 80 seconds later, after the Corey Perry power play goal, they get it right back to a 2-goal lead. Draisaitl will move it up now. Or pardon me, Brown. Connor Brown on the outside. Tried to center it. Lost it. Connor Brown will go back to the point. Shot from distance was blocked out in front. Gadjevich will clear it out to center ice. Here is Nurse. Passes it. Dumped back into the corner. Mikkola with the puck now. Loose along the boards, and Nosek trying to clear it out. He will not. Mikkola will bank pass it for Schmid. And banked off the boards and out to center ice. Back on side is Greer. Nurse trying to get to the loose puck. Battle along the boards. In the Oilers zone once again. Tonis turned over. Backhander. Save. It was blocked, actually. Oh, my. A dangerous opportunity given up there by the Oilers. Kulikov banks it off the boards. The Panthers feeling the momentum right now, for sure. A drop pass here as Barkov will get it. Alexander Barkov will rim it all the way around. Verhaeghe pressured. Reinhardt's shot was blocked. Comes back up high for Jones. Sends it across. Shot wide of the net. Verhaeghe gets it again. Shot towards the net. Save. Rebound. Reinhardt was tied up. Sam Reinhart goes up high. Jones shot wide of the net. Reinhart again. Goes deep into the corner. Verhaeghe lost it. Connor Brown will move it up. And he'll pass it across and shot back in by Kapanen. And moved up here. Another odd man rush here. Verhaeghe onside. Shot was blocked. He could never handle the puck. Arvidsson now.
Oilers trying to slow this down on the Florida side of things on their rush opportunities. Arvidsson along the boards. Ekblad fell down. No penalty. Luostarinen will dump it back in from center ice. Skinner out to play it. Klingberg now will have the puck. Klingberg trying to move it into the middle for Draisaitl. Here is Luostarinen moving it up for Marchand. Dumps back into the corner. Out muscles Wallman, but Klingberg gets to the puck first. Here is Draisaitl moving it in on side. Podkolzin. Oh, what a hit! Draisaitl. And it's not cleared out yet. Held in at the line. Turned over. Could be a chance here. Luostarinen. Breakaway. Scores! Sam Bennett. 4-1. Sam Bennett makes it a 4-1 game. He is red hot in this Stanley Cup final. 4 goals. Podkolzin got hit by Bennett. Oilers wanted a penalty on that, but instead they don't get it. And the other way, a turnover at the blue line by Luostarinen who caused it. Bennett on the breakaway beats Stuart Skinner, and it's a 4-1 lead, the biggest lead of the series for any team. Wow. And the Panthers have exploded for offense, and Podkolzin either going off the ice or annoyed. 4-1 Panthers here in game 3. Flipped up into the air. Knocked down by Bouchard. Almost turned over there. Panthers still want more. Another turnover here for Hagee. Forced it loose, and Bouchard picks it up. 14th goal in this postseason for Sam Bennett. Could he be a Conn Smythe nominee? Verhaeghe will move it up. Here is Lundell who dumps it back in. Skinner out to play it. Then Ekholm is pressured by Reinhart from behind. Oilers looking to counter here. They're trying to get a quick response. McDavid drops it off for Perry. Lost it. Out to center ice it goes. Gadjevich has the puck. Dumps it back in. The Florida Panthers are just feeling it right now. They have a 4-1 lead. Panthers fans loving it. Brown will drop it off for Wallman. As Gadjevich is forcing Wallman off the puck for a moment. Turnover. Greer's shot over the net. Just a bunch of turnovers by the Oilers. They're all sloppy right now. And the Panthers are making them pay. Skinner out to play it. Wallman has the puck. Behind his own net. Moves it up for Henrique. Dumped back into the corner. Schmidt will get it now. Banked off the boards and lifted out to center ice, and it deflected out of the play, I believe, into the benches. 11:03 to go in the second period. The Panthers have opened the offense. Corey Perry made it a 2-1 game. Reinhart responded. And then Bennett on a breakaway makes it 4-1. We welcome you back to Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Panthers with a 4-1 lead over Edmonton here in Game 3, trying to take a 2-1 series lead. Florida has not led in this series, or led the series score. They're trying to take advantage here. They're up by 3. Still a lot of time, though. We're not even halfway through the game. We have seen a lot of high-scoring games. The last one, 5-4 in double overtime. This could easily be one of those games. Reinhart against McDavid in the face-off dot. Won by Reinhart. Forsling got taken down by Draisaitl. Slow to get up. Fans wanted a penalty. Probably could have been one. They don't call it, though. Bouchard will shoot it back in. Rimmed all the way around. Ekblad will force it out to center ice. Lift it up. And that'll be offside if they touch it. Did not touch it in time. Bouchard. McDavid now with the puck. Will move it up with some speed. Knocked and sandwiched at the blue line. 3-on-2 approaching. Deflected on goal and it stopped on the rush. As the Panthers are just finding the rush opportunities. Knocked down here. Almost a turnover. Marchand will get it behind the net. Barkov's out there and then he gets forced off the puck by Perry. Nugent Hopkins now with the puck. 2-on-2 crossing the line. Draisaitl forced off the puck there. Nugent Hopkins gets it back. Draisaitl again. Klingberg one-timer. Deflected wide of the net as it rolled into the corner. Less than half a game to go and less than a period to go. Forced out the center ice by Florida. And Nurse will pick up the puck and now Kane will shoot it back in. Bobrovsky gloves it. He'll get the whistle. Pushing and shoving after the whistle. That has been like that all night. But the Panthers with a 4-1 lead here in Game 3. A huge second period here for the Panthers. They are up by 3. McDavid got sandwiched. Absolutely. He fell off he just lost balance. What a hit. We welcome you back to the Stanley Cup Final. We've just gotten reports that McDavid's gone down to the locker room. Oh, boy, this could be an injury for Connor McDavid right off the knee. He has gone down to the tunnel. He is out for the moment, and he looked like he was in a lot of pain. Trying to walk that off. He was kind of limping. 9:44 to go. Face-off won by the Oilers. Nurse's shot was blocked out in front of the net. Nurse will get it back at the point. Dumps it. Deep. Centering. Save. Frederick at the opportunity. Kulikov now. Turned over to Kapanen. Rimmed all the way around. No one at the point to hold it in. Held in, though, as it was a race for it. Henrique. Centering pass. Goes to everybody. Shot. Bobrovsky with the save. What a save on Nurse. And everyone getting together now as everyone's punching and shoving, and Bobrovsky just getting his stick and trying to get out of the way. Everyone tangled up. McDavid's back on the bench. Must have been minor. Greer and Frederick tied up together. Gajovic poking fun at one of the Panthers, or poking fun at one of the Oilers, pardon me. 18-16, the shots favoring the Oilers, but they are down by 3 here in Game 3. Just has been physical all night and throughout this whole series. Entering this Gajovic right at Nurse. That face. Man. McDavid's back on the ice, so it must have been something minor. Or it could be a potential injury, but he's going to play through it because this is a Stanley Cup final. Trying to get revenge on the Panthers from last year's final. They lost in 7. Right now, they're down 3 in Game 3. It becomes a question, when the more time passes off the clock and if the Oilers are not back in this game later on, do they have to focus their attention to Game 4, where they have to tie the series, or else they'd be down 3-1 going to Edmonton? Reinhart sends it deep into the corner for Hagee. Try to center it. Reinhart behind the net. Pressured by McDavid. Reinhart, wraparound attempt. Barkov on the rebound, stopped. Draisaitl has the puck behind the net. 8:50 to go in the second period. Moved up here by McDavid with some speed. McDavid lost it. Florida's done really good at limiting McDavid's opportunities here in this game. Wallman, and now Draisaitl lost it at the blue line. Luostarinen was trying to go on a break. McDavid sends it across for Draisaitl. Pressured off the puck by Reinhart. Draisaitl gets it back and rims it all the way around back to the point for Ekholm. Matthias Ekholm slaps one through traffic, and it's stopped by Bobrovsky. And another scrum in front of the net. 8:21 to go. It's getting physical. Referees and linesmen separating everyone as Wes McCauley and Francis Chiron, Scott Cherry, and Trent Knorr all getting separated there. $8:21 to go in the second period. 4-1 Florida. Shots are 20-17 in favor of the Panthers. Series tied at 1. Delay on the face-off here in the Florida zone. Game 4 will be on Thursday at the same time. Tune in here on the MHS Network. Whoever has a series lead, it could be Florida, it could be Edmonton. Could they go up 3-1, or will this be an even series going to Edmonton? Shot! Wide of the net. Ekholm gets it again. Slaps it around. Mikkola trying to get it. Janmark will rim it all the way around, and Rodriguez is trying to clear it. Pressure along the boards. Arvidsson will pick it up. In the corner, Jones threw him down to the corner. Ekholm shot it wide of the net, out the side of the net now, and Mikkola moves it up for Tkachuk. Ekholm hits Tkachuk around the facial area. Been a very physical game. Turned over here. Here's Ekholm up high. Janmark behind the net now. Banked off the boards back to the point for Bouchard, dancing the line. Kane will send it deep into the corner for Janmark. Fell down, and Jones will pick it up now. 3-on-2 for the Panthers at the hurry. Jones will instead just dump it in. Skinner out to play it. He's allowed 4 goals on 17 shots. Only 13 saves. Kane, now Nugent-Hopkins. Here's Brown cutting in. Nugent-Hopkins and a save by Bobrovsky, who has been great all night. 20 saves on 21 shots. Nurse could not hold it in a rush here. Marchand trying to move it in. Angled off by Nurse, the big body. Marchand, and shot back in by Luostarinen with less than 7 minutes to go in the second period. Klingberg now has the puck. Moves it. Banked off the boards. No icing here as Ekblad will pick up the puck now. Try to stretch it up. Deflected back into the corner. Race for the puck. Poke checked away just in time. Or else that would have been Nosek with the loose puck. The fourth line out there for the Panthers. Against the third line. As they switched it around a little bit here. Henrique's out there with Kapanen. Race for the puck here. Greer forced off the puck by Kulak. Held at the line by Mikkola. Shot blocked out in front. And Henrique will pick it up now. And will flip it out to center ice. Jones, now Mikkola, banked off the boards. Nosek, bumped. Here is Jones moving it in. Seth Jones trying to pass it across for Greer. Out of his reach, he was going for a line change. Wallman now. Less than 6 to go in the second period here. In game number 3's second period. Deflected. That's going to be an icing on the Oilers. With 5:43 remaining as Draisaitl was trying to receive a pass up the middle of the ice. 5:43 to go in the second period. The Panthers are up big here in game 3. They've outscored the Oilers 5-2 in second periods this series. If you remember that game number 1, they're up 3-1 in that second period at one moment. Cut to 3-2. Shot. Save made by Skinner. Reinhart behind the net. Reinhart goes back up high for Ekblad. Reinhart let it go for Barkov behind the net. Centering pass, and Verhaeghe wasn't there in time. Perry will dump it back in. Gets leveled at the blue line. Forsling now with the puck. Moved up here by Verhaeghe. Dumped back in. Bouchard. Barkov, another turnover. Verhaeghe. Ekholm, and then Draisaitl tried to clear it. Barkov held it in. Sent it deep. Forsling. Verhaeghe has the puck now on the backhand. Rimmed it around now. Marchand fell down to try to get the puck. Ekholm. Perry turns it over to Lundell. Held at the line by Jones. Less than 5 minutes to go in the second period here. In game number 3. Centering pass for Lundell. That's broken up. And Perry will dump it back in. It's been a domination here by the Panthers in the second period. Mikkola now with the puck. That's intercepted at center. Arvidsson. Then Janmark could have received the pass. Deflected out to center ice. Kachuk trying to get it. Turned over here. Lusterinen now to Kachuk. Kachuk shoots. Save. Lusterinen's tied up and couldn't get the rebound. Podkolzin shoots it back into the corner. Arvidsson trying to center it for Podkolzin. Off the stick of Bobrovsky. And Rodriguez clears it out to center ice. Klingberg will get it. 22-19, the shots favoring the Oilers. Kachuk will get it around the boards. Kulikov. Now Jones deflected it up. Rodriguez. Now a rush here. 2-on-1. Bennett is in. He shoots. He missed the net. Just shot it wide. Could have been his second goal of the night. Would have been his second game where he's had 2 goals in this final series. Schmid will move it up. Shot back in by Gadjevich from center ice. As the Oilers are just scrambling here. Kulak held at the line by Ekblad up high. Shot blocked out in front. Kulak forced the block there. The Oilers cannot even get it passed cleanly here. Kane throws a check there. Gadjevich, a turnover here by Florida. Brown tried to center it. Knocked away there by Schmid. And the other way come the Panthers. Banked off the boards here by Gadjevich. Icing on the Florida Panthers with 3:11 to go. And Greer and Wallman were pushing each other after the whistle along the boards. 3:11 to go in the second period here in game number 3. 4-1 Florida. They've had the majority of the goals, obviously. And the tension and the frustration for the Oilers builds as they are down by a lot here in game 3. And Wallman throws water at the bench. Oh, wow. The refs, the Panthers want a penalty on Wallman for just literally squirting water at the Florida bench. Wow. I've never seen that before. What is he doing? Wow. That is
Interesting. 2:51 to go. Wallman. That says it all. Frustration building for the Oilers here in Game 3. We'll be back. We're back, everybody. 2:50 to go in this second period. And Wallman got away with could have been a penalty there on just squirting water at the Florida bench. That just sums up all the frustration that the Oilers have been feeling in this period alone. It started off so promising with the power play, and then it just crumbled as the Panthers have just taken over in the game. 21-19, the shots favoring the Oilers. Ekholm has the puck with less than 2.5 to go in the second. Jones off the boards, deflected, no icing, knocked down. And that's going to be an icing on the Oilers. Mikkola gets the puck in, get the whistle there. 2:11 to go in the second. 4-1 Florida. Paul Maurice's fourth Stanley Cup appearance. 3 of the Panthers. He's 42-22 with the Panthers. 83-73 in career postseason record. His other appearance in the Stanley Cup final without the Panthers was back in 2002 with the Carolina Hurricanes. They faced the Detroit Red Wings, and they lost in 5 to that stacked Detroit squad. On goal, so Bobrovsky covers it and gets the whistle. Forsling and Kapanen tie up behind the net. And the tension builds here in Sunrise, Florida. For the Edmonton Oilers, it's going smoothly for the Panthers here in game number 3. They've had multiple goal leads here, multi-goal leads, that's what I was trying to say, until I just forgot the words. 2:03 to go in the second period. 4-1 Florida over Edmonton. Face-off one here at the line. Shot from distance, saved made by Bobrovsky. Draisaitl trying to get to the loose puck. McDavid picks it up now. Goes back to the point for Bouchard. McDavid back for Bouchard in the slot. Waiting, and he's forced off the puck by Verhaeghe. Back for McDavid up high. McDavid along the wall. Back for Bouchard again. Slaps one. Save Bobrovsky through traffic. And Kane and Ekblad get together after the whistle. 98 seconds to go in the period. Oilers down by a lot here in game 3. Series tied at 1. Florida. Every single time I say Series. My phone thinks it means Siri. 1:38 to go in the second period. And a 4-1 lead in Bouchard. Just frustrated. Frustration building for the Oilers since basically the onslaught that the Panthers have had here in this period. 1:38 to go. Maybe a late one here for the Oilers gets them back in this game. But right now they look dejected. McDavid out there with Barkov. Barkov wins the faceoff. And Reinhart looking to clear it. Held at the line for a moment by McDavid. Kane will rim it all the way around. Verhaeghe to the loose puck first. Bouchard trying to get it away. Forsling turned over to Kane for a moment, and Ekblad will pick up the puck now, and Florida will clear it out to center ice. Knocked down there. Shot back in. Verhaeghe was trying to take it in, and he'll go for a line change instead. Bouchard with the puck now. Minute and 10 to go in the middle frame here in Game 3. Mikkola with the puck now. Pressured. Banked off the glass. And Lundell trying to get to the loose puck. Wallman angles him off. Another turnover. Luostarinen. McDavid ties him up and along the boards. Lundell. Everyone all together now. Nurse throwing some hits from behind. A cross check there on Lundell. And then a punch by Wallman in the face. Oh, wow. So the Oilers are playing dirty to try to just, I guess, send the message, but they have played dirty. Nurse saying that's a penalty. Yep, that is. Don't take stupid penalties. Now everyone getting together at center. Marchand and Wallman. Marchand's just throwing Wallman right now. And he forced a strap off of the helmet. Florida's going to go on the power play, I think. Nurse is just throwing a cross check there. Clear penalty. Then Wallman goes for a punch. And right into the face of Lundell. Those are some dumb penalties to take. Wallman doesn't care right now. Darnell Nurse for a cross check, and they don't call the punch that happened afterwards. And Wallman is arguing with Mikkola between the benches. And oh boy, has this gotten really intense and very aggravating between both teams. They have just hated each other from the drop of the puck. They've hated each other since Game 7 probably. The rematch going smoothly for the Panthers. Marchand along the boards. Rodriguez has lost his stick. He got poked away off his stick, and then Henrique will dump it back in with 30 seconds to go. Florida on their 5th power play. They're 1 for 4. They scored in the first period on that power play. Banked off the boards at the side of the net. Skinner made the save, and it's cleared out of the zone. 1 3+ goal comeback this season. That was against Colorado for the Oilers. Deflected back in. That was in the regular season, though. The Panthers have a 3-goal lead going into the third. A huge advantage. They'll have power play time for 1:16 to start the period. 24-19, the shots favoring the Oilers. Everyone getting together again. Janmark wants to go at someone. At this point, I fully expect a fight. Marchand is trolling. That's his job. And they've done it well. Janmark is heated. Everyone in orange for the Oilers, they are just heated at the Panthers. Panthers loving it. Marchand laughing them off. A 4-1 lead going into the third. Panthers trying to close it out in Game 3. We'll be back with our intermission report coming up next here on the NHL's MHS's coverage of the Stanley Cup Final. welcome you back. Intermission report real quickly. We'll go over the scoring that happened in that second period. On the power play was Corey Perry, his 9th. Evan Bouchard and Ekholm with the assists. Made it a 2-1 game just a minute and 40 in. Then a minute and 20 later, Sam Reinhart of a turnover by Klingberg makes it a 3-1 game. Verhaeghe with the only assist on that goal. Then a turnover at the blue line by Edmonton. Lusterinen forced it, passed it to Bennett. His 14th of the playoffs. Scores on the breakaway and makes it 4-1 at 7:26. The Panthers with their biggest lead of the series. 4-1 they lead here in tonight's game. Game 3. Faceoffs in favor of the Oilers, 60.5%. And the shots favoring the Oilers, 24-19. And both teams have scored on the power play. The only goal by the Oilers have been on the power play. 1 for 5 is Florida. 1 for 4 is Edmonton. And a lot of hitting. 22-21. We've had a lot of hitting in this series overall. Heading into this game, the hits in this series were in favor of the Florida Panthers by 111. 111-90. That was the total hits. And if you wanted some overtime in this one, we might not get it. But knowing this final, I don't think Edmonton's out of it just yet. They looked rattled, but if a team can come back, it can totally be Edmonton. The Florida Panthers are actually going to start on the power play when we return to the third period, so we'll be right back real quickly to the third period's action. Welcome you back to the third period. Florida going to go on the power play for the third period. 4-1 they lead. We're back into action. And we are back in the game. 4-1. The Panthers leading it here in game 3. Barkov, Kachuk pressured off the puck. Up in the air. And Janmark will pass it back. Almost turned it over. Ekholm will pick it up. Has it in his own zone. He'll send it down the length of the ice. Bobrovsky gets it. Swats away from Brown, who was trying to get to the loose puck. Bobrovsky's made 24 saves on 25 shots. He has been great tonight. Reinhart with the puck. Drops it off for Barkov. Shot back in from center. Rimmed all the way around. Reinhart tried to settle it down. It's cleared down the length of the ice once again. Bobrovsky out to play it once again behind his own net. Jones now at the puck. Passes it for Mikkola. Will look to move it in onside. Dumped it deep into the corner. Pressured off the puck. Marchand lost it. Behind the net, Bouchard. Lusterinen. And it goes up high. Lundell rimmed it all the way around. Marchand power play now over. And the Oilers will have to find some sort of spark to get them back in the game. The Florida Panthers good at shutting them down, though. That'll be the question. Can they shut them down? Turnover here. Lundell. Now Brad Marchand goes to a vacant point. Comes back out to center ice. Hit the referee with the puck. And Schmid will shoot it back in from center. Icing on the Panthers on the wrong side of the red line, though. 1:40 in. And we'll get a face-off in the Florida zone. Game 4 on Thursday, 7 o'clock p.m. East Central, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. It's been physical. Some very bad penalties taken by the Oilers in that middle frame. And it's resulted in some of their miscues that they've had in this game that we have not seen throughout these whole playoffs or finals. Schmid with the puck. Bennett looking to clear it. Could not. Held in by Nurse. Along the wall. Kane. Shot it. Save made by Bobrovsky. Nurse behind the net. Arvidsson trying to get it. Lost it. Goes back to the point for Klingberg. Draisaitl trying to switch to Klingberg. Draisaitl still pressured by Rodriguez. Bennett will pick it up now. We'll look to move it up for Schmid. Kachuk on the rush. Dumped back in by Schmid. Skinner out to play it. And the delay of game right there. Clear as day. And the Oilers take a penalty as Skinner takes a delay of game. What a terrible penalty. Stuart Skinner just flips that puck up a little too high. And the 6th power play for the Panthers. And Stuart Skinner now feels that frustration that his team has felt throughout the whole night. And now the Oilers want to call another penalty. And that means less time for a potential comeback. Florida just trying to shut this down. And they have drawn a lot of penalties in this one. Wes McCauley and Francis Chiron, the referees for tonight's game. Verhaeghe wins the faceoff. Bennett has the puck. Verhaeghe again. Banked off the boards, back for Bennett again. He'll wait and shoot and hit the post actually. Thought he missed the net. He instead hit the post. Bennett drops it. Rodriguez, Verhaeghe to the point. Schmid's shot. Save made by Skinner. Get a whistle. 2 minutes and 40 seconds in. Bennett right off the goalpost. Right off the, if that didn't deflect off Nugent Hopkins' stick, I believe, that would have been a 5-1 lead there for the Panthers. Bennett, 14 goals. 4 goals in the first 3 games of this series. He has been red hot. He has been a factor for sure in this series. He had a 2-goal performance in the loss in game 1. He had a goal in the last one as well. Schmid's shot, save made by Skinner. Once again, off the draw. And another setup there. Bennett right off the goalpost. The outside of the goalpost, I think. Around that elbow part where it's like the crossbar and post intersecting right there. Face-off one here by the Panthers once again. Bennett goes cross. Verhaeghe drops it off. Schmid now for Bennett. Shot towards the net. It was blocked. Verhaeghe on the rebound, stopped. Rodriguez will go back to the point for Schmid. Sent to the cross for Bennett. Back for Schmid again up high. One-timer by Rodriguez, missed the net wide. Bennett, shot wide of the net. Deflects out of play. And we get a scuffle right afterwards as well. Verhaeghe right here. It was blocked by Wallman in the Chicken McNuggets. Yep. Around that area. That's where he fell. Then Verhaeghe on his own rebound off the Chicken McNuggets. Wallman and Bennett meeting face-to-face right there, and the referees separate them. Trent Noor was having none of that. He wants to go home, probably. They've called a bunch of penalties in this game, and it doesn't seem like it's going to stop either. Reinhart and McDavid. Reinhart won the face-off. Panthers look to move it around. Barkov near the goal line, pressured by Nurse from behind. Kachuk back for Barkov. Kachuk sends it low. Backdoor scores! Ekblad, what a passing play. It's 5-1. What a play. Wow. A beauty of a play there. Ekblad makes it 5 for the Panthers. Barkov, Kachuk. Barkov along the boards, Kachuk, and then Reinhart. A beautiful backhand pass across for Ekblad. An open net. No way Skinner could get to that. And it's 5-1. Another power play goal. They're 1 for 28 at home on the power play. Now they're 3 for like 30-something now for the Panthers. Still bad, but they've gotten 2 here tonight. And Pickard is going in net in relief. 5 goals allowed on 23 shots by Skinner. And so Skinner's done. Skinner's night is done. He's going to go to the locker room. Some of those goals are not even his fault. Pickard will go in. He is 7-1. We have not seen him since Game 5 against Vegas. Or pardon me, we haven't seen him since Game 3 against Vegas. No, pardon me, Game 2. Oh, I don't know what I'm thinking. Game 2 of that series, we have not seen him since. He's 7-1 in these playoffs as well. Face-off one here. Frederick. 6th team NHL history to record 11 5-plus goal games in a single postseason. That's what the Florida Panthers have done here again. Lustarinen's shot was stopped. First save of the night for Pickard. And the deficit grows for the Oilers. 4 goals down here in Game 3. Klingberg at the point shot it. It was blocked. Lustarinen wanted to go for more. Trying to pass it for Marchand onside. Lustarinen installs it deep. Ekholm intercepts. Huge hit along the boards as he finishes his check. As Draisaitl will move it in through the middle. In, he'll drop it off. Try to center it. Kane couldn't even get a backhand away, and Forsling clears it. No, not. It was held in by Klingberg. Brown down low. He missed the backhander. If that's not a summary of how the Oilers' night has not been able to go right, I don't know what is. Connor Brown had an open net. He had Bobrovsky beat. Forsling's shot deflected to the corner, and Greer will get to the loose puck. Up high again, Schmid banked it off the boards behind the net for Reinhart. 5-1 Florida here in Game 3. Nosek along the boards, pressured by Wallman and Janmark. Bouchard will pick up the puck now. And it is moved up. Arvidsson lost it. Schmid will dump it back in. Wallman. Aaron Ekblad with his 4th goal of this postseason. Sam Reinhart and Matthew Tkachuk with the assists. Here's Arvidsson, and he's offside. A little bit of pushing and shoving, and Kulikov and Arvidsson exchanged some punches after the whistle. 5:07 into the 3rd period of Game 3. 5-1 Florida. Ekblad, the latest goal scorer. As those Greer and Janmark tying each other up at center ice. The tension has just built all night. It is built throughout this whole series. And I can only imagine what Game 4 is going to be like. It is going to be a treat to watch for sure. Will it be more physicality, or will it be translated into another thing? Brown had an open net. Did Bobrovsky poke check that away? No, he didn't. He just cleanly just missed it. Brown had an open net. Would have made it 5-2. Instead, he whiffs on it. And the Panthers are going back to the power play again. Their 6th power play opportunity, I believe, or 7th. It's hard to keep up now of how much power play they've got in the game. Cleared out of the zone. Shots are 26-24 in favor of Edmonton. But the score is favoring the Panthers by a lot here. 5-1. Rodriguez moves it up now. Onside. Nurse. Then Bennett trying to get it. Kulak. They're 2 for 6, the Panthers, here on the power play. This is the 7th opportunity. Verhaeghe trying to pass it. Instead, it's intercepted, and a short-handed break here for Nugent Hopkins.
offside of the line, and a hit thrown there by Marchand after the whistle on Woolman. They have to get separated there by Scott Cherry. 14:20 left to go in the third. It's a 5-1 Florida lead. Power play, their seventh. 26-24, the shots favoring the Oilers. And it has just gone terribly wrong for Edmonton and incredibly right for the Panthers here in game number 3. We'll see what the response is on Thursday. They'll have a lot of days off between this game and game 4. Then on game 5 will be on Saturday in Edmonton. Slapped down the length of the ice by Woolman. Jones now will pick up the puck, and Barkov will move it up. 3-on-3 crossing the line. Barkov looking. Trailing Reinhart. Reinhart with the puck. Sends it across Barkov. Jones is winding it up, and he could not unleash it. Kachuk tried to send it low for Ekblad. That's intercepted. Ekblad sends it across for Barkov. Up high, Jones. Shot. Deflected. Save by Skinner. Ekblad sends it across for Barkov. Shot. Blocked. Loose at the side of the net. Ekblad fell down. Cleared out of the zone. Woolman sent it deep into the Panther zone. Here's Jones on side. Seth Jones took a chuck. Dropped it off. Barkov lost the handle. Drops it off for Reinhart. Jones in the circle. 25 to go on the power play. Shot by Nosek. Missed the net wide. It was Schmidt, actually. Kachuk. Schmidt again. Lost it. Ekholm clears it. They're about to be going 2 for 7 on the power play. By this point, they're just killing off time here. The Oilers down by 4. Power play over. The 7th power play for the Panthers has just expired. 7. Kulak. Lusterinen finished his check. And here's Marchand. Backhand pass is offside at the line by Lindell. Trying to move it in. 12:38 to go in the third period. Nurse is yapping at the bench. 5-1 Panthers. We'll be back. We're back, everybody, and Florida Panthers, 6th team to record 11 or more 5+ games or goals in a postseason. Rimmed all the way around, out to center ice. Remaining time is probably not much to do for the Oilers. They probably got to focus on their next game in Game 4, which will be on Thursday night. 5-1 Panthers. Still a full crowd here at Emirates Bank Arena. Deflected, so a offside there at the line. 12:08 to go. The shots are 27-26. At least one goal in games 1 through 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. Yzerman, 1997. Marchand and Bennett on that list now. Gensel and Marchand are the others. Yzerman in 1997. Yzerman was pretty good in that run against Philadelphia in that Stanley Cup Final. Broke that curse. And Edmonton's going to go on the power play here. Marchand takes a penalty for hooking on McDavid. And Edmonton will go to their power play. See if they can get within 3. Could be a crucial power play here if they can work fast and try to get something going. Bouchard held it at the line as Mikkola tried to clear it. Perry lost it, and Mikkola clears it down the length of the ice. Skinner out to play it. Or pardon me, Pickard. Pickard's now in net in relief of Skinner. McDavid will move it in. Onside. Try to chip it into the corner. Could not. Draisaitl. McDavid goes back for Draisaitl. Trying to get a shot away. Could not. Mikkola pressured him off the puck. McDavid will get it. Finish check there by Luostarinen. Bouchard to McDavid along the wall. McDavid makes a move. Backhand pass across for Woolman. It's blocked by Nosek, and it's cleared by Mikkola. What a play there. McDavid setting up a good play there, but a better block there by Nosek and a better defensive play all around by the Panthers. A minute left to go on the power play. A lot of penalties in this game. We had 7 power play opportunities for the Panthers. They've scored on 2 of those. Reinhart turned it over. Kane. Barkov can't clear it. Ekblad will not clear it out yet. Deflected. Still loose. And Klingberg will get it now at the point. Installs it deep. Nugent Hopkins. Kane in the corner. Nugent Hopkins let it go to Klingberg. Klingberg waiting. Shooting. Blocked out in front. Bouncing puck. Kane will get it in the corner. Angled off by Ekblad. Shots are even at 27. At the side of the net. Kane couldn't get a backhander away. It was Henrique actually. Shot was blocked by Klingberg. Klingberg's on the ground. Held in at the line by Kulak. Barkov tried to clear it, and then it's cleared out of the zone by Forsling, and another Oilers power play killed off. Crowd loving it here at Emirates Bank Arena as they're 10 minutes away from taking a 2-1 series lead in the Stanley Cup Final. Schmid moves it up here. Rodriguez, now Kachuk shoots it wide of the net. Bennett installs it around. Nurse and Kachuk getting tied up together. That physicality adding on in the game. The tension brewing throughout the whole entire hockey game and this series. And that should be a penalty. And now we get a scuffle. Now we're going to get a fight. Everyone's going at it now. Greer and Nurse. Gadjevich going with someone. 2 fights happening now. 4. Nurse and there's Greer and Gadjevich. 2 are down. 2 are still fighting. One of the Panthers won the fight to the whole entire bench. Nurse and Gadjevich are exchanging punches. Schmid now. And against Brown. Everyone's going at it. With 9:28 to go. Gadjevich with a couple of rights. Nurse and him are tied up. Frederick and Bennett want to go now. Nurse, an uppercut twice. Misses 2 punches there. There's a lot of fights going on at the moment. There's around 5. All the skaters on the ice are fighting. Gadjevich. Uppercut. Another uppercut by Nurse. And now they exchange punches. Gadjevich throws a right. Throwing more lefts. Schmid is battling with someone in the corner now along the boards. Everyone is standing here at the building. Gadjevich, Schmid, and Brown are tied up. They won't go for longer. Gadjevich and Nurse are still going. This fight has gone on for a long time. Referees are not separating them at all. Gadjevic throws a right. Nurse trying to get one back. Gadjevic throws another one. And now they finally separate, and the crowd cheers here. 9:28 to go. What an entertaining fights there. Everyone's loving it except for the Edmonton fans and the Edmonton Oilers. We'll see if we get a lot of penalties here. 9:31 to go. We'll be back. 5-1 Florida. We're back, everybody, and we just came out with one of the biggest fights I've seen in the Stanley Cup Final ever. Nurse and Gadjevic were going at it for more than like 2 minutes when everything erupted. Gadjevic throws on a crazy face at Nurse, sticking his tongue out. Nurse is just laughing about it. We had one of the craziest fights I've ever seen, and a bunch of penalties off of that. If it's just 5-on-5 after all of that, that's going to be crazy. Everyone is still standing here at Emirates Bank Arena with 9.5 minutes to go in the third. They're still figuring out the penalties. Ben is going to get ejected. I think everyone in the penalty box is going to get ejected here. 10 minutes misconducts. Greer is gone from this game. Game 4 on Thursday, June 12th, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Game 5 on Saturday. Game 6, if necessary, will be on Tuesday. And if a Game 7 is necessary, it will be on a Friday. Everyone cheering here at Emirates Bank Arena. Around 3 or 4 Panthers are getting ejected. The same for the Oilers. My goodness. Frederick and Nurse's nights are done. That trainer slapped his butt a little too hard. So random. 9:31 to go. Tkachuk out there as we are still in a little bit of delay in getting the players back onto the ice. Ekholm's night is done. Around like 6 or 7 players' nights are done. A lot of players, now this is going to be the empty benches now. Still, they're talking about something. I don't know what at this point. We still got half a period to go. And a 5-1 Florida lead, and they'll have another power play. Their 8th power play of the night. And a very undisciplined game by the Oilers. 9:31 to go. Shots are even at 27. Face-off, Tkachuk blocked out in front.
Kachuk again for Barkov along the boards. Reinhardt back to the point for Jones. Reinhardt again. Goes low, Kachuk. Reinhardt off his stick. Kachuk to the point for Jones. Could not hold it in. 9 minutes to go in the third. Ekholm drops it off for Jones. And he'll drop it off again for Barkov. Reinhardt deflected it across. Forced out to center ice. Kachuk. Barkov now with the puck. Has it into the middle. He'll shoot it back in. To the corner. Panthers are 2 for 7 on the power play. Jones along the wall. Centering pass deflected away. Up high. Ekblad across for Jones. Couldn't connect. Barkov. Now for Jones. One-timer denied. Verhaeghe the opportunity. And Pickard with a good save there as Skinner's out of the game. He got pulled after the 5th goal. Janmark tried to center it for Podkolzin, shorthanded. Couldn't go. Marchand pressure from behind. Has the puck still. Onside, try to make a move. Podkolzin moves it. Wallman. Forsling has the puck along the boards. Everyone's tension is just building here in this game. A lot of fights, and we have another one almost developing there along the benches. This game might never end in the third period because everyone's just frustrated and just letting out all the fights right now. Verhaeghe drops it off for Marchand. Only 10 seconds remaining. Centering pass intercepted by Kapanen. And it's cleared down into the corner. Power play is over. That's the 8th power play of the night for the Panthers, just expiring. Insane. I already had 8 power plays for the Panthers. Only 2 for 8 on the night. Nosek. Onside of the Oilers for a moment. Nugent Hopkins. Nosek lost it, and then Kulak will slap it back in. Bobrovsky mishandled it, but it was broken up there. To the line. Bouchard's shot. Deflects out of play with 7:05 to go. In the third period. 5-1 Florida. Game 4 will be on Thursday. See if the Panthers will take a 3-1 series lead over the Edmonton Oilers on Thursday night. As right now, the Oilers have not been great. Eddie Olchuk, 12th person to appear on 1,000 English national telecasts between the U.S. and Canada. So congrats to Eddie Olchuk. That's a lot of broadcasts. 1,000. Wow. A lot of broadcasts for Eddie Olchuk. It's already at that point of the game where you're just trying to see if it's over already. The score's already decided. You just need to burn out the clock. Not burn down the clock. 7:05 to go in the third. Delay off the face-off. Barkov and McDavid. Barkov won the face-off. Stolen away. Kane couldn't get a chance. Reinhardt. 28 saves on 29 shots for Bobrovsky. Jones now with the puck. Flips it. Couldn't clear it. Draisaitl held it in. But forced out to center ice again. Less than 7 to go in the third. Draisaitl gets it again. Deflected in the middle. Backhanded back in by Kulak. It's a stick on the ice there. I'm not sure whose stick that is, but it's on the ice and in the way a little bit. Rimmed around. Bouchard shot. Save made by Bobrovsky. His 30th shot he's faced tonight. Another shot. Deflects up in the air. Not out of play. 30 saves now for Bobrovsky. 31 shots he's faced. He's only allowed 1. Jones backhands it around for Verhaeghe. Out to center ice it goes. No icing here. Verhaeghe's down behind the play with 6:05 to go, and I believe another penalty probably upcoming in the play. As he looks a little bit rattled after that. Not sure what happened there. Might have been hit, maybe high stick actually. It was a high stick. And the refs have to get in the way again as Oilers and Panthers want to fight each other again. The refs want to go home. 6:05 to go Get the call here. Plays under review. Oh, great. Everyone wants to go home, but it's under review. Isn't that fun? They're saying that Verhaeghe got... Oh, wow. That's an intent to slash there. Kane has taken some stupid penalties here tonight. I'm not going to even unfilter that. He has taken some stupid penalties for the Oilers. He's been arguing with the referee. So in an official review, you thought this period was long? Let's add a review to it. And that'll end quickly. Let's see what the review and the decision was from the referees. We'll see.
Be reviewed. Edmonton's got a minor for a slash and a 10-minute misconduct.
Kane is gone from the game as he takes a 2-minute and a 10-minute misconduct. So his night is done as well. And another Florida power play, the 9th power play for the Panthers. Perry's going to serve the penalty. 9th power play. I'm not making this up. I don't think I've ever seen anyone get to 9 power plays in a game. If we get 10 in this one, wow. It's insane how much power, how undisciplined the Oilers have been in this game. At this point, it's just frustration, but gotta settle it down here. Tkachuk up high. Tkachuk will get it again. From the pass from Jones. Across. Barkov has the puck. On the backhanding for Jones again. Barkov along the boards. For Jones again at the point. Shot. Deflected just wide. Pickard might have gotten a piece of it. Barkov has the puck. Sent it across. And Ekblad had bounced over his stick. Backhanded around. 5.5 to go in the third. Reinhart with the puck. Barkov to the point. Jones. Barkov. Reinhart. Save. Rebound denied. As it's cleared out of the zone. And a little bit of a scuffle behind the play again. Tkachuk and Klingberg, and everyone's just going together now. It has just been a melee in the third. They hate each other. They hate their guts. Everyone's guts on either side of things, and just the refs are just watching like, can we just go home already? Wallman and Ekblad tied up together. Wallman's been around that all night as well. At this point, I'm just thinking the referees are going to throw at anyone that's just trying to start stuff now. Ekblad and Wallman tying each other up. Linesman trying to separate them. 5:16 to go in the third. Crowd is up again. When will this game end? That's the question. Oh, Wallman throwing a little bit of a slash and then a punch to the face. Another penalty, so it's going to be a 5-on-3 for the Panthers. And the Oilers, who looked so promising in the first 2 games, have just crumbled. They've self-destructed here in Game 3. Wallman to the box. And my question is, why couldn't they play like this against Dallas? Please, we couldn't have gotten first round Stuart Skinner and just. As a Stars fan, this is frustrating to watch because this could have been. Now, well, Wallman's night's done. Everyone's just leaving the game. The refs are just having enough of this. And so I think we're going to have a 5-on-3 because the hand was raised. Not sure if we're going to have a 5-on-3. I'm not sure. The Stars could have gotten the Stuart Skinner, but instead we didn't. So, Tkachuk wants an explanation. Time is just dragging here. My goodness. $5:16 to go in the third period. Here in Game 3. A minute and 11 to go. It's going to be a 5-on-3 power play for Florida. A 2-man advantage. See if the Panthers can convert on that. Schmid. Rodriguez. Back for Schmid again. Rodriguez to Schmid again. Jones with the puck with less than a minute to go on the 5-on-3. Schmid.
Goes across. Verhaeghe. Jones will get it. For Verhaeghe again. To Jones. Jones at the line. Passes it for Rodriguez. Back for Jones. Rodriguez's shot was blocked out in front of the net. Held in by Verhaeghe. 35 to go on the two-man advantage. Verhaeghe trying to go across. It's blocked away and it's cleared out of the zone. 4.5 to go in the third. 5-1. Florida. Here on the power play. 20 seconds to go on the two-man advantage. Jones is in. Now to Mikkola. Settles it down. 15 to go. Back for Mikkola across. Jones shoots. And deflected. Out of play. 4:13 to go in the third period. Everyone going together again. This is not ending. Kapanen getting separated. Everyone standing again in the building. Oh boy. You really wish there wasn't 3 days apart or 2 days of resting, because I wish this game 4 was on Wednesday or something. Yeah, Kapanen, another unnecessary play there, and Kapanen's night's done as well. And he blows kisses to one of the Panthers fans as a troll. This is the most undisciplined third period I've ever seen. Wow. This game started at 7:30 Central. It is now 10:02. We have been on for 3 hours and 2 minutes. We still got 4:13 to go in the third. But the score is very not tight right now. 5-1 Florida. They have the advantage. Two-man advantage for 8 seconds. Unless they'll add more to Kapanen as he took a penalty. At this point, just drop the puck already. I know you got to figure out the penalties as you're the referees and the officials, but at this point, just drop the puck. Florida's had around 10 or 11 opportunities on the power play. It's insane how undisciplined this game has been. Face-off won here by Nosek. Forsling will go back. Two-man advantage expires right now. No, it's going to be another two-man advantage, I guess. We'll go back to the point for Forsling. Now Mikkola with the puck. Mikkola looking. Rodriguez, a one-timer, he scores! It's 6-1. I'm not liking it at all. 6-1 lead for Florida, and they still have a power play. Now it's a 5-on-4 advantage for the Panthers. Three and a half minutes to go in the third, and Draisaitl's face is priceless. Man, oh man. You know, they say, oh, that's the look that wins them the series like they did with the Dallas series. I don't want to hear it. That's the dumbest excuse if they win game 4. Shot back in. 6-1 Florida. Shot down the length of the ice. Bobrovsky out to play it. Kulak and Lusterina now tying up, and now another whistle. 3:03 to go. They just won't want this. They don't want this game to end. They don't got anywhere else to be right now, I guess, the players. Time is moving slowly here. It's moving slower than Gary the Snail. And
Lustarinen's going to go to the box, I think. So the power play comes to an end. And it'll be a 4-on-4 and then a little bit of an Oilers power play. 3:03 to go. It's 6-1. And this is Kulak and Lusterinen behind the play. There's nothing much left in this game, for sure. 4-on-4 for 58 seconds. And they say there was a high stick on Lusterinen right there. Oh, well, I didn't. Yeah, no. That wasn't a penalty. Kulikov, and it's passed back here. So the Oilers looking so good at Rogers Place for the first 2 games of the series, losing in double overtime. It seems like it still stings here. Kulikov all alone, stopped. Rebound was there. And they're just still going for more. Evan Rodriguez is second of the playoffs. Mikkola and Forsling the assists. Here's Draisaitl moving it in. Pressured. Still has the puck. He'll send it deep into the corner. Kulikov is forced out to center ice. Bouchard. 2:20 to go in the third. The Panthers just dominating. The Oilers, they have just been able to dismantle the Oilers here in one game. The Panthers were not as great as they were at home like they did last year. But for sure in this game, they have just dominated. Oilers power play for 50 seconds. Panthers fans trying to beat traffic. They have been here for longer than they expected here in the third period. 85 penalty minutes to 55 in the game. Insane. Deflects out of play, and we'll get a face-off outside the blue line with 102 seconds to go in this game. This was a difference here. Bennett throwing a check there and then going on a breakaway moments later. Made it a 4-1 lead as the Panthers had an onslaught in the third with the goals. 5-on-3 goal by Evan Rodriguez. There's Stuart Skinner with the Stanley Cup Final very terrible Fanatics hat. Here's Bouchard with some room. Slaps one. Save. Bobrovsky. Rebound is still loose. Trying to jam for the puck. And Janmark centered it. Podkolzin. It's forced out to center ice. Even when the Oilers don't even need these goals, they can't even score on them. 31 saves on 32 shots for Bobrovsky. Onside. Arvidsson dropped it out for Bouchard. 1:10 to go in the third. Janmark tried to center it. Deflected out to center ice. 1 minute to go in the third period of Game 3. A decisive 6-1 lead for the Panthers. They are about to take a 2-1 series lead. The winner of Game 3s has an all-time series record of 23-7 when the series is tied up at 1. That looks good for the Panthers. They're looking to try to go back-to-back. They'll be a step further in their journey in defense of the Stanley Cup. Klingberg with less than 30 seconds to go in the third. Crowd standing here at Emeren Bank Arena. Perry lost it along the boards. Nosek, then Lusterinen will backhand it around for Mikkola. 15 seconds to go. Out to center. Klingberg picks it up. Has it in his own zone. Will kill off the time here. Klingberg will slap it down the length of the ice. Perry and Mikkola get together. The time not expiring. They didn't blow the whistle. This game is over. The Rats go on the ice while the fights continue. And that's Nosek and Perry going at it right now. Perry trying to get something out of this. Rodriguez is just laughing. Evan Rodriguez is just laughing about this. The Panthers take a 2-1 series lead over the Edmonton Oilers in the best-of-7 Stanley Cup Final. And the Panthers get a decisive 6-1 win over Edmonton. Game 4 on Thursday. They're still separating everyone along the boards.
And Perry will get escorted out of here. From Max, thank you so much for watching. We'll give you coverage on Thursday. Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final. 6-1 your final score tonight for the Florida Panthers. They lead the series 2-1.